What's going on, guys? Vista here, and once again coming to you from the test range. If you can't tell, I've been spending quite a bit of time down here, really just trying to get things tightened up. So today I just wanted to talk to you about my personal settings, what I run on PC, and see if I can't help some of you guys out that are a little bit baffled on how to run your settings. Of course, being on PC, this may not help you console guys a lot, but it's worth watching to kind of figure out some of these settings. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at my settings. Okay, starting off, we see the two sensitivities, mouse sensitivity and vehicle sensitivity. Got them both set to 20%. That's where I like to run it. It's real comfortable for me. The way I set that up is I actually use a ruler and measure out how far it takes my character to do a full 360, come back to the same spot, and I want that set to about 3.5 inches, maybe 4 inches, somewhere in there. That's what I'm comfortable with. It's what I've gotten used to. It's what I played in Battlefield 3, so to make the transition a little easier, I set up my sensitivity the same. Raw mouse input, of course. We don't want any acceleration in there. And all the rest of my settings are pretty much stock. Joystick sensitivity set up the same. Vibration off. My mouse doesn't vibrate, so I don't need it. In our games play tab, you'll notice I set mine up to hold buttons. I just like to hold it down, just personal preference. You can put that to, click button so it stays on all the time until you click it again, but I prefer hold. HUD visibility 80%, and the big one, network smoothing factor. With Battlefield 4's terrible net code, basically this will kind of help with that. If you guys are seeing a lot of trades, or a lot of times where you pop around a corner, a guy's got his back to you, you put half your magazine into him only to have him turn around and two-shot you, this setting right here will help with that. You can run it 10% or 0, but basically what it is kind of built-in lag to the game to kind of get everybody on the same playing field, but doesn't quite seem to function properly. So I've got mine dropped down to about 10%, and I've seen a big reduction in trade kills and guys spinning on me. Alright, for my audio settings, you'll notice my master volume's down to 5%. That's just due to that jet overhead. You guys wouldn't be able to hear me talk if I left this at my normal setting. I usually have it about 50-60%, somewhere in there. I like to do the adjusting with my actual headphone adjustment. Speakers on hi-fi and surround sound, of course. Got to hear those guys sneaking up behind you. My VoIP is on, set to 100%, and got it where it reduces the volume when somebody talks. I want to be able to talk to my squad mates. You never know when you're going to meet somebody that plays well, you play well with. You guys got the same thing going, and get in there and tear it up, make some friends. So make sure you guys got your VoIP on, and if you don't have a mic, go out and get one. Alright, moving on to video settings. You'll notice my full screen monitor is my secondary monitor. My primary monitor I use to put up the battle log map and things like that, and that's off to my left hand side. It's got it set to 120 Hertz. My monitor is 120 Hertz. And using 1920 by 1080 just because I want to make it look pretty for you guys. Of course, running full screen mode, brightness set to 55, vertical sync off. What vertical sync does is lock in your frame rate to 60. Of course, I've got a 120 Hertz monitor, and I want to be able to achieve 120 frames. Field of view 70. You may not want to mess with this. This does change your sensitivity. So if you mess with this, it's going to throw your game off, and it does cause a few issues with ADSing. Motion blur, I've got that turned off. Does nothing but rob performance. Don't need it. Hell, I want to see everything clear anyway. Colorblind mode is turned on. I just like using the different colors. Just a personal preference. HUD size 60 and resolution scale 100%. So, moving on to the actual video settings. You'll notice I've got a pretty decent mix of high, low, medium, and even an ultra in there. And a few things turned off. Basically what this allows me to do, and my personal setup, I have a set of EVGA GTX 770 Superclocked Edition video cards. Right now with these current settings on the test range, I can maintain well above 120 frames, but this is pretty low rendering on this test range. Actually, in game, I'm somewhere in the 90s. Will achieve 120 from time to time, but just not enough oomph to these cards because there's just so dang much to render in Battlefield 4. But of course, I do take a huge hit when I'm recording, which I am most of the time, which dips me down, between the 80s and 90s on most games. Still very playable. 60 frames a second is really the ultimate goal. You want to stay above it. And I'm able to do that with these settings. Now, I do have some things turned up just to make it look prettier for you guys. You don't want to see, cardboard and cookie cutters out there, all the time. That's more for the competitive stuff. And some of these settings I actually will drop when I'm not recording just to maintain a really high frame rate. But, do need it to look good for you guys. So, of course, we got custom settings. Texture quality and texture filtering set to high just to make it look a little prettier. Lighting quality is on low. I know that would make it look better, but it does give a pretty big hit to the frame rate. Effects quality, same thing. Got it cranked down to low. Post-processing quality, got a medium there. Mesh quality on ultra. What mesh quality is your draw distance. How far you can see rendered out from your character. Basically, if you're running vehicles, or especially helicopters, jets, things like that, you want to be able to see people at a distance. So I got that cranked up to ultra. Not a huge hit to the frames. I could increase by dropping it down, but I want to render as far as I possibly can. Terrain quality and terrain decoration on high. That is just to make it look pretty for you guys. Anti-aliasing deferred turned off. That is a huge frame robber. Anti-aliasing post doesn't quite rob as many frames, so I got that on a medium. And of course, ambient occlusion, a huge frame killer. I got that turned off. I won't go over key bindings. Too much of a personal, choice on that one. You guys can set that up for yourselves. But that's my basic settings. What I like to run, it is giving me a pretty good frame rate at this moment. But it's always something that you're ongoing and messing with and trying to improve. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, throw it a like. Any questions, comments, absolutely leave them down below. And as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.